Hi friends, welcome to our YouTube channel IT Support, and today we are going to learn about how to create encrypted volume in Linux. To create encrypted volume in Linux, we use LUKS. LUKS stands for Linux Unified Key Setup. It is used to create encrypted volume. So we are going to perform uh, step by step to create a encrypted volume. First step, to create new partition. First we will create a new partition, then we will apply setting to encrypt that volume. So let's create one new partition. So we generally we use fdisk command to create a new partition. First of all, we are going to check what are the partition already created into the system. So here you can see there are two partitions, SDA1 and SDA2, and SDA is a physical volume that is attached to the server, and this physical volume is having SDA1 and SDA2, the two partition. First partition is Linux partition, okay, and the second partition is Linux LVM. This is logical volume manager partition, SDA2, and this SDA2 contains three logical volume, that is CL root, CL swap and CL home. These are the logical volume created in logical volume manager, SDA2. So now we are going to create one more partition, that is SDA3, and then we are going to create encrypted volume with SDA3. So we are going to use command fdisk, then device name, press enter. So here it will give you the option M for help. If you press M, you will see the number of options which you can perform with the newly attached disk. So we are going to use option N, add a new partition. Okay, so I'm going to press N. So it will ask me what kind of partition you want to create, primary or extended. There are two kind of partition that we can create in the physical volume, that is primary and extended. We can create maximum 4 primary partition and 11 extended partition in Linux system. So here we are going to use primary partition. So here if you not press any option like P or E, it will default create primary partition. So I'm going to press P to create primary partition. Now it is asking me which number you want to give for the partition. Here we already see SDA1 and SDA2, these are already primary partition. If we press, so here we have two options, 3 or 4. Okay, so as I already told you, we can create 4 primary partition. So here we have option remaining 3 and 4. So I'm going to use default, it will create third 3 partition, SDA3. So I'm going to press 3. Okay, so uh, our partition is created with the default size. It This size was remaining in my physical volume, that was not allocated to any partition. This is unallocated size which is allocated to SDA3. So now we are going to save these changes. So Q is used without saving the changes, and W is used to write table to the disk and exit. So we are going to use option W, press enter. So the partition table has been altered. Okay, so we have created a new partition. Fine, so let me check. here you can see we have successfully created the partition SDA3. It is Linux partition. Fine. Now our second step use crypt setup LUKS format and a partition name to format the newly created partition as encrypted volume. So this is simply a volume is created. Now we are going to convert it into encrypted partition. So the command is crypt setup. Fine. And then LUKS format. Fine. LUKS format, then device name SDA3. Okay, press enter. This will overwrite the data on device SDA3. Okay, so we are not having any data in SDA3. This is newly created partition, so we are sure that we are going to write it, and we type yes in the uppercase letter. Fine. Make sure that it should be in uppercase. Press enter. Okay, so SDA3 is newly created, so we need to reboot the system. Then the system will know that SDA3 is created into the system. So we are going to reboot the system. So system rebooting. So after rebooting the system, let's check the let's check the newly created partition. Okay, so SDA3 is present. Now we are going to fire that command crypt setup LUKS format dev SDA3. Press enter. Now say yes and type the passphrase so that you can lock the drive. So I'm going to type the passphrase, confirm it. Okay, so our drive is created. Now we are going to create a encrypted volume. Fine. Here we created a partition, encrypted partition, and now we are going to create encrypted volume. So the command we are going to use is crypt setup LUKS open and then drive name. Fine. SDA3 and give the name of the volume, encrypted vol. We are going to use encrypted vol. If we press enter, we need to type that passphrase by which we have created the partition. Okay, so our volume is encrypted volume is created. So we can check this encrypted volume inside mapper. So mapper is a service which manages the encrypted volume. Fine, so let me check whether the drive is whether the volume is created inside. Okay, so make correction over here. This is not under DTC, it is under Dev. Fine. So find it in under Dev mapper encrypt. Press enter. Sorry, ls. Then here you can see the encrypt wall is created inside mapper. Mapper is a service which is responsible to create your encrypted volume. Then the fourth step is make the drive is its partition type. We need to define partition type, then only we can store any of the data inside encrypted volume. So this is a necessary step that you need to do with the partition, that define the partition type. So we are going to define partition type mkfs ext4. This will be the partition type for the encrypted volume. Fine. So it this partition type is allocating the group table, then write inode. It will create the inode table also and create a journaling. So we have successfully created a partition type for the newly created encrypted volume. Right. Right. Then we are going to mount this encrypted volume into MNT. Mount it. Okay. So let's check inside MNT. So our encrypted volume is mounted inside the MNT directory, and let's create any directory inside MNT like encrypt wall. This is the directory cd. Go inside the directory and create any file. So this is the file inside the directory. Okay. So this is the directory that we have created inside the MNT directory, which is mounted for encrypted volume. Okay. We can also use to copy the content of etc/etc inside MNT, or you can create any of the volume just for checking purpose whether you are able to create a file inside the encrypted volume, and then you will in future you will get that content from the encrypted volume. So this is how we created encrypted volume and created file inside the volume. Now we are going to unmount that encrypted volume. Now we unmounted the encrypted volume. Now close the volume so that nobody can get the access for your encrypted volume. So this will close your encrypted volume. Okay, the content is locked inside the device. So if you are checking, so your encrypt that volume will get deleted from here because it is locked, because SDA3 is locked. So if you want to see the content again what you have logged inside the volume, then you again need to mount that volume. You again need to create any encrypted volume inside. So again, if you want to see the content inside the encrypted volume, you again need to create a drive, the same drive. Okay, sorry, SD A3. Okay, it is already exists because I have created it already. And then you need to mount it. You need to mount it inside MNT, and you can check the content inside the MNT drive. And you can see that the drive encrypt wall is already present inside, which we was previously created and close the drive. Okay, now you again you mount it. Okay, we unmounted it. Now the next step is create LUKS close encrypt value. This will lock the content. Okay, this we already perform. And a mounting an encrypted device automatically. If you wants to mount encrypted volume automatically at the time of boot, you can make its entry inside the FS tab. You already know what is the use of FS tab, so you can make the entry inside FS tab. So first of all, you also need to make its entry inside the encrypt tab. To open the file inside the encrypt tab, you need to add this line. Okay, you need to add this line. So let's start to do it. Create a file. Okay, insert SDA3. Fine. Now create any volume. Create a volume. So we have created the volume encrypt wall, and we are going to mount encrypted volume inside this volume. Fine. So once your system will boot, the next time your encrypted volume get mount automatically in this drive, and you can see the content inside. Fine. So let me create any directory inside encrypted volume so that you can get confirm that it is going to be mount every boot time, in every boot time. Okay, so cd encrypt wall, create any drive like uh, vd1. Okay, so this drive is having vd1 directory. So let me create it mount automatically at boot time. So you need to make entry inside FS tab, and inside the FS tab you need to make entry. First of all, you need to define this encrypt wall. Okay, so this is the drive name, then directory where you want to mount. Okay, so its type. Okay, directory type or partition type, and its default boot is default. Then dump check 1, and this is 2. Okay, so 2 is used to check the directory. This will check the directory. Okay, and 1 is for dump check. Okay, you want to make a dump backup or not. If you create 1, it will create the dump backup. Okay, and 2 for fsck, it will check the directory after the root. 1 is used to, if you set 0 then it will not do fsck. If you set 1 then it is fsck for root directory, and 2 is after the root directory. We use 2 fsck. Fine. So we make the entry inside fs tab. So every time your system will boot and your encrypted volume will be you will be mount inside the encrypt wall directory. Okay, now we are going to reboot the server, and after reboot it will ask for the password at the boot time to mount the encrypt wall, to mount the encrypted volume inside the encrypt wall directory. Fine, so I'm going to reboot the server. So my server is start rebooted. So see, here it is now asking me enter the passphrase for disk. Okay, where uh, you want to mount into encrypt wall. Okay, so you need to type that passphrase which you was used while creating the volume. Okay, I type the passphrase. Now I press enter, so it will mount automatically inside the encrypt wall directory. So do ls encrypt wall. See, encrypt wall is mounted over here. Encrypt wall is mounted inside the encrypt wall directory, and these are the content inside the encrypt wall. And the content which we are inserted inside while creating was get override, and the content which we are created inside the encrypted volume get mounted in encrypt wall directory. So this is all about how to create encrypted drive inside the Linux system. So we use the LUKS Linux unified key setup to create an encrypted volume. Fine. If you have any question, you can ask me, you can comment, and you can like, and you can subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.